Hi there. A friend of mine who has finally decided that he wants to have a better job, better pay, so he can raise his young daughter better, decided to go to nursing school. Now, this is the person who is aware, supposedly, of the dangers of the drugs, didn't even vaccinate her child. And now, after one term in the school, I ran into her and she says, "You know, I think I've changed my mind about drugs. They do have some merits." I said, "Oh?" She says, "Yeah, I'm studying molecular biology and I can see, that they can affect cellular pathology." I said, what my friend is forgetting, which is unfortunately a lot of people do, is who they are. The foundation. Once you understand that, from then on you can see what is proper to be applying to it or not. Let me not get sidetracked. Who we are, infinite energy. Intelligent infinity is who every one of us is. We receive vibrations as frequencies, we decode them. That becomes what we see, what we hear, everything. How we manifest, all of it. So now, once we know that, we can go back, go around the circle, come back here. Here it is, they are teaching my friend how to apply a produced substance in some laboratory to change cellular biology. So what means basically they are looking at the person as though he's worse than a rock. Even a rock has frequency and vibration. So if we see that the inert chemicals and molecules and things like that, yes, it might suppress something that it would go someplace else, because within our being, if one thing is suppressed someplace, it says, okay, I won't show up here, I go someplace else. And that's what happens. Diseases move and things like that because nothing is correctly as done. So what is that correct thing? The correct thing is, of course, energetic medicine. Anything that affects directly as vibration. Now, and if the person understands who's receiving it, why they are there, what is going on, how is energy is applicable to energy. If one understands that, then it would actually be more effective. Even with such a screwed up, twisted TCM, traditional Chinese medicine in America, Mao, way back, distorted it to the point of no return, killed all the teachers, went on actually into their monasteries and cut down their trees and make sure they don't even exist. Few, of course, ran away. And if you know a truth, you can't shut down. You won't shut up yourself. You won't roll over. You stand for it. You speak about it. They ran to other countries and started teaching, and they've had a few students, and few students know how to do the right acupuncture. And then homeopathy. Homeopathy was actually generated in Europe recently. And around when the pharmaceutical companies were really wanting to establish themselves, and they had the power, and all the bankers and all the Rockefellers and the Guggenheims were behind them and things like that, they passed a law, of course, it was only a drug, of course, with the help of the politician, which they own, that only a drug or surgery can cure. So then systematically went and eliminated most homeopathic school. They were 200, the numbers came to 20, and that eventually, because it was not heard and suppressed, actually dwindled. But they are good homeopaths, the same way. They didn't give up, and they studied, they passed information, they got into groups. They were herbal schools that they closed down completely. Anything natural got suppressed. Now why? If, I would be happy if they would change the cellular pathology in a fashion that's suitable to this electrical body of energy. However, that suppresses, this disease continues, become bigger, more aggressive. One thing would lead into another, to a bigger disease, more profit, more drugs. Kind of sad. And they start, they start actually destroying human beings at the point of birth with vaccination. A great site for you if you want to check 10,000 literature around anti-vaccination. Vaxxter, VAXXTER. Great site, I recommend it strongly. And you can they will send you newsletters if you want. And great information. I've mentioned that, but I have to go over it, so in case you've forgotten or you didn't watch the first episodes of the mouth tappings. Excuse me. Cheers. What is the reason? I mentioned when the Archon came here 3,600 years ago, when the Federation came 3,300 years ago, and what is there's this war that's going on to enslave humanity. Humanity is a food for them. They suck up energy from them. They live beyond the visible light that we see, so they manipulate us through what they call blood. All the people they have produced some years and years back with human beings, and they have grown. They all become kings and queens, and they pass laws and And then, of course, there are federation that wants us to be free will people. Their plan, of course, is how they can destroy us. First, their plan is poisonous, put it shortly. Poison completely, they can be controlled. Not to the point that they will die, because they want to use them. Before they would take him into concentration camps, they put him in concentration camps around war. The pharmaceutical companies made Dachau, Birkenau, Auschwitz. But now the whole earth have turned to that. And then, when you're used up, they throw you into the incinerator and burn you. Now they give you morphine, put you on chemotherapy. The same thing is going on. Now that was a small location. Nowadays that become global. And they poison us by poisoning our air via the chemtrails. And there is no problem with carbon dioxide. That is just another plan to really squeeze the globe. They poison our food, of course, by genetically manufactured and glyphosates all over the planet. They poison our body via the chemicals that actually inject vaccination or other drugs that we take along the way, and poison our mind with viral technology. They're like infective viruses that people have taken. That's what everybody gets their reality from this little thingy. They invert everything. Schools and universities destroy knowledge. They invert it. Did science become something skewed to serve their purpose, to make things for them, to produce things for them, to make chemical combinations, make diseases. And they feed off of that, of course. So that's why they do it. They really have no empathy for anyone. Psychopaths have no empathy. They enjoy hurting. They enjoy throwing bombs and really villages that have nothing to do and kill children and things. Nobody sees the picture, just like nobody sees any kind of literature that it is against the reality that they want us to believe. They are aware of human sovereignty. They are aware that the law of one means everyone is sovereign, can choose. But how do they do actually all of these things that they, for the most part, is happening to us? Well, they get us to vote. Vote is like I take a choice. This is my choice to put this person in the position of power to make a decision for me. That's why they want your vote. That's why they want everyone to vote. Because then you sanction them to go and do exactly what they have planned to be done. And the Yoga Sutra says the rule of conduct are four. If something is virtuous and good, you delight in it, you enjoy it. If something is proper, if a person is, for example, happy, you're friendly with. If a person is sad, example, you have compassion for it. And if something is evil or someone is evil, you have disregard for it. Neither fight it, nor disregard. Because he just wants your energy, however you give it, either this way or that way. Disregard. So don't vote. You don't need to have big demonstration. You have already voted in place to do that. Thank you. You go, okay. Go ahead, demonstrate. And if you get too noisy, we send our police force and shut you down. You have already chosen me to do this to you. So shut up. Please, my friend, don't forget who you are. Know how they twist and invert everything. Otherwise, you're too intelligent. You can't be given any truth. You can't, because you'll catch on. Catch on to what? That this is a scam, it's a propaganda, it's a program they are forcing us to do. Don't do it. And don't let them to manipulate you with fear. Fear is their best tactic. Go in here, go into your heart, and know who you are. You are one with the infinite intelligence. This dense body that we at the moment, denser in vibration, the vehicle that moves us around here, so we can experience the diversity that the Creator wants that we are one with. This vehicle can be dropped and you are just vibration. There is no life, no death. There is no fear. They make you fearful and then they get you. Oh, you're gonna die. No. When you choose not to die, you won't die. You might drop your body. And sometimes maybe you'll get tired. It is nice to get tired and decide to go. Period. But the drugs are designed to get you to be dependent on them. From childhood you're vaccinated, then you have all sorts of diseases because of that. Then they suppress the other one suppress after another one becomes bigger. All of a sudden, some places it's cancer. So know who you are. Support each other. Love each other. Stay together. Because isolation is another game in the agenda. Divide and conquer, the whole thing. Everybody knows that. Don't be afraid to tell your truth. If you know what you're talking, talk about it. Live your truth. And when you want to make a decision, don't go here. Here, the guidance is, God stands. Here is the source of your information. Here will help you to get to it. Here you can make decisions with fear because you're fearful. Here is just breath and life. There's no fear. I know you understand me. And whatever you intend, you will find a way to manifest. If they are not, if you need something that they tell you is not accessible to you, whoever tells you that most likely is telling you a lie. Healing is available. Feeling prosperous is accessible. Knowing success is accessible. And being in good health is accessible. Okay, I talked enough for this time. I leave you with love. Viva.